Yo, what is up, guys? It's your boy, Overpowered Camper, bringing another video here today. And before I even jump into anything, first of all, I want to say I'm sorry for not uploading yesterday. I was supposed to do my wildcard predictions, but I couldn't. So you know what? You guys are getting 2 uploads today. Go, link in the description. That's going to be my wildcard picks. And it's pretty interesting. The games were pretty hard to pick. So, you know, if you guys are interested in that, go ahead and click the link in the description. But before I even jump into what we're going to be talking about in this video, first of all, the gameplay, dude. I'm sorry. Like, I tried this game, but it just didn't really work out. Because, like, the other team was using nothing but explosives, shooting Simtexes at me, frags at me, C4s, that's not even in the game. They're throwing it at me, everything you could think of, bombing runs. These guys, I don't even think they killed me with their gun. But I still dropped like 50 deaths, basically, because they just kept owning me with those explosives. So parts of the game I may have to cut out, because there's some times where I just spawned and then someone shot like a Simtex across the map and stuck me and I died, and that happened a couple times in a row. So yeah, it was pretty crazy. This gameplay is not the best, but you know, it's actually not that bad. I'm probably exaggerating too much. I don't really remember. It's from a couple of days ago this gameplay was, because you know, I'm still Prestige 1 in this gameplay. Finally got to that Prestige 2. The reason I'm not like a high Prestige is because I took a pretty long break from Advanced Warfare for whatever reason. I don't really remember, but then the new patch came out and I was like, oh wow, this game got a lot better, so I just started playing it a lot more. And it's really fun. So I'm like Prestige 2, rank 21 right now, and it's pretty dope, if I were to say so myself. But let's go ahead and jump into the commentary. What we're going to be talking about is the time that I should have and very much could have died. And I was like 5 years old, so if I would have died, like, you know, it would be pretty crazy, you know, to die that young. And let me just go ahead and give you guys some background story real quick. So I remember I was like around 5, you know, it was during the summer. I remember I just, you know, could not stop throwing up for some reason. You know, I just kept throwing up and throwing up. And I remember my mom was just saying like maybe I had like a virus or something. I don't really remember it that well, because this was about almost, you know, 11 years ago. So yeah, pretty freaking long time ago, now that I'm thinking about it. But I just remember I was throwing up so much. It was like 5 times a day. You know, it probably wasn't even that much. I'm probably exaggerating once again, but I just remember I was throwing up a lot. And I don't remember how long it was. I think it lasted over a span of a couple of days. But now that like I think back on it, you know, like remembering this, it feels like it lasted for like 2 weeks until like we finally did something about it. But I think it was just like all this happened in a span of a week, but it felt like it was longer. Like I said, I don't really remember it all that well. So what happened was, you know, I was just throwing up. My mom thought I just had like a stomach virus or whatever, so she thought it would go away. But I just kept throwing up and throwing up, and then, you know, what happened was my mom was just like, alright, I'm gonna take him to the hospital. So we go to the hospital, right? And it turns out I'm pretty close to death right now. Like, I am on death row, basically. And what happened was my appendix, which is like some organ I've never even heard of to that point. You know, all I knew about was like the brain, like the heart, you know what I'm saying? I don't even think I've ever even studied this organ in school. I don't even think it even does anything. Like, can someone tell me what the appendix does? Because I really don't know. But what happened was, no, they said my appendix was about to rupture, and if that happens, it's gonna release a bunch of fluids. You know, it got infected or something. I don't really know, to be honest with you. But they said like if it ruptured, like it was gonna release all these fluids, and then the fluids were gonna like take over my body, and I was just gonna die a slow and lonely, and you know, not lonely because I had my family and stuff, but I was just gonna die like a pretty tragic death. Just, yeah. And they said it was like really close to rupturing. So if that were to have happened, because like all the fluid was like building up inside of it or something, and basically, yeah, I was really close to dying, and the doctors said that I had to get surgery immediately. So I think either that night or the night after, I ended up or I think it was like I went back home real quick for something. I think my mom went back home, and then my family came, and like later that night, or either in the next morning, I can't really remember though. I just remember like I was laying on the bed with my mom or whatever, and I was asking her about camp because it was summer, so I was going to summer camp at that time, and I was like, oh, are they gonna get mad because I'm not? Keep in mind I'm 5, and I was just like worried, like, oh my gosh, I'm missing camp. The people are gonna be so mad and stuff, but it really wasn't a big deal at all, obviously. And yeah, so basically what happened was I had to end up getting surgery. Now I really wasn't thinking much of this at that point. I was just like, because I didn't really know. I was just like, alright, I'm just gonna get surgery, it's gonna be done with. All I remember was like, I don't really remember anything, to be honest. I just remember waking up with some ice cream, and I was like, this is pretty legit. I need to have surgery more often. But apparently my dad was like crying and stuff. My mom was telling me about this. My dad was like crying, and like everything was just all dramatic and stuff. I don't really remember any of this. I just remember waking up, I had ice cream, they put in like some video games. Back then it was like some, this was like 2004 or whatever, so they had like I think the PlayStation 2 or something, but I don't think the hospital hadn't like had those yet, like upgraded to those, so I'm not even joking, I think they still had the Nintendo 64, so I was playing on that, getting some Mario reps in, it was pretty cool. I remember that stuff, but the worst part about it is because was like I had to start walking again, and I just remember it was like the hardest thing ever. Like I don't really understand it to this day, but I was like crying in the middle of it. If I was a little older, it probably wouldn't have been that bad, but I was 5 years old, I was like crying and stuff. I had to walk on one of those like cane things, and it was really bad, but I ended up getting through it. Your boy pushed through. I really don't remember any of it, gladly, because dude, throwing up is like one of the worst things. Like whenever I feel like I'm about to throw up, I just try my hardest not to, because I haven't thrown up in a while, but it just feels so weird. Like it goes like from your stomach back up, and it's just I just can't do it. So anyways, yeah, that's basically my story. They said I was really close to dying. It's a good thing my mom took me to the hospital, because if she didn't, I probably would have died or came really, really, really close to dying, and it's just crazy. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like down below, and if you want to, go ahead and check out my Twitter if you really like me, and if you want to, go ahead and check out my NFL wildcard round 1 predictions. Hope you guys enjoy. Peace out, guys. Have a great day, and boy, Opie Camper signing out. Peace out.
Blue jeans, Air Ones, and a white tee. 06 hanging out the window like yee. High feet on one, off a bottle might be my tree. Smoking Agent Orange High C. Back when me and Marty was recording at my mom's. Mostly y'all were chasing around bobs. I was in the lab, only hoping that my job never would be based around mops. Now I'm on. Yeah, she know, love me cause my ego. Girls and the drugs always follow us where we go. Ay.